So today I'm going to go through what the average UFC Apex card is like. I'm sure we're all familiar with the Apex. We don't enjoy it. It's an excuse to put on low quality cards and events with horrible main events most of the time because, it's like 20 seats in Apex and it's free to watch, so they don't want to put much on. They want to save it for a pay-per-view or a crowded fight night main event. So it just always stinks, and it seems by every event it's getting more and more insufferable. And they always seem to put the same caliber of fights on every card. And I'm going to go through that today. I'm going to go through 5 different types of fights that seem to be on every Apex card. And we just had Lemos vs Jandaroba in the Apex, which, to be fair, the overall card didn't seem that bad, but it just felt like there was nothing at stake, so it's hard to hold much interest in these fights. I mean, there were a few prospects on the card, which won. But fair enough. It was quite some interesting fights and finishes, quite a few finishes, so can't complain so much. But yeah, and every time there's an event at the Apex, it always happens to be the commentators of Brendan Fitzgerald, Paul Felder, and Michael Bisping. I don't know about you, but no hate to the guy. I mean, he's doing his job. There's nothing to hate about him. I mean, but it's just so depressing when I hear him commentating because he just knows it's going to be a stinky card. Every time it's the Apex, he's commentating. And then every time you hear the voice, you kind of get traumatized, like, ah, man, it's going to be a stinker event. But yeah, let's go through what the fights are like, getting into the first one now. So the first prime example of a fight that you see on every single Apex card, the prelim opener woman, Luana Carolina, Vanessa Dimopoulos, Chelsea Chandler. These are the main 3 culprits of being prelim opener woman. There are so many more examples I could have put, but I just stuck to 3. These are the prime examples. Now, Vanessa Dimopoulos, she's had, let's see how many fights she's had in the UFC. She's had 7 fights in the UFC. And 6 of those fights have been in the Apex. 6 of those fights have been in the Apex. And all of these are going to decision as well. She's not finishing any of these. I bet all these fights, I mean, I haven't watched all of these fights. I've seen a couple of them. I have no interest in watching them. Don't call me a catcher for not watching these. You can't do that. But I'm sure if I watched all these fights, they all would have been the same. These fights, it would have gone either way for the winner by 29-28 on all 3 scorecards. I don't know how it happens every time. Every time a women's fight on the Apex is 29-28 on all 3 scorecards in a close fight. It's the type of fight, the fight just starts. Okay, the fight just starts. 5 minutes on the clock, first round. Then, I don't know, you just drop stuff on the floor, you pick it up for 5 seconds, then you look back at the screen and you just see both women are against the cage. Both women are against the cage, holding each other, kneeing each other's thighs, and they stay there for the whole round. It's what every women's fight feels like on the Apex. And these are the main culprits. Literally, Luana Carolina just fought on the Lemos Jandaroba card, and she won by decision. And let's see, 2 29-28s in her favour and a 30-27. It just happens every time. It's so repetitive. Yeah, but Vanessa Dimopoulos is she's like the pinnacle of the prelim Apex prelim opener. Every time. And guess what? She's got a fight booked against Jacqueline Amarim in September. And it looks like this is going to be in the Apex as well. So she's not leaving the Apex anytime soon unless she starts getting a bunch of finishes, because their fight style is just too unpromotable. They all fight the same. You know how the fight's going to go. 10 minutes of cage control. It's a grueling watch every time. Hard to watch. So boring all the time. And Chelsea Chandler as well. Let's see. 1, 2, 3 fights in UFC, all in the Apex. It looks like 3 fight nights. Yeah, they've all been Apex. And she's also a culprit. Her last 2 have gone to decision. She's got an upcoming fight against Yana Santos. Tyburova Spivak 2 card. That's the perfect place for this fight to be. Just in the Apex on the deadest main event. Yeah. Her last 2 fights have gone to decision. I'm sure they've been 29-28s as well. Boring as well. I saw the Dumont fight where she was running away. Bare boring. Not interested. Yeah, let's see what's next. The next type of fight, I'm sure you guessed it, the heavyweight slobs. By the way, I'm doing this in order of basically the order they fight on the card. So, you usually see your average women's fight, your prelim openers, then you get, next up you usually get your heavyweight slobs. Prime examples, Josh Parisian, Jamal Pogues, Thomas Peterson. Zero definition, I don't understand that at all. I don't get it. You're professional athletes. You're training in camp, but you're meant to lose weight. Are you not meant to be able to see definition? But they just never do. They just look so smooth and straight, with no bumps or anything on their body for muscles, but they're just smooth and straight. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, they always hit the scale at 265. It's pretty pathetic. Like, you don't cut any weight. I mean, you maybe do cut weight if you weigh more than 265, but seriously, weighing in at 265, that's crazy. You're not even that tall. You're just massive and lots of pudge on you. You know what I mean? Just you can cut a bit of that down, and you should be it will give yourself an athletic advantage against your opponents as well, because majority of the heavyweight divisions like this. So I don't see why they don't just cut down and build a bit more muscle. Then it gives you a massive advantage. Yeah, and they bet the house on a decision. I mean, yeah, every time it goes to decision, these guys don't get finishes at all. Yeah, not much to say about that. And I bet I know Jamal Pogues has fought Josh Parisian. Thomas Peterson has fought Jamal Pogues. And that leaves Josh Parisian and Thomas Peterson. I'm sure they're going to fight each other next. They always fight each other. The slobs, they all fight each other. It's going to get to the point where they've all fought each other and it's just going to be rematches. Because they don't progress in the thing either, in the rankings, because they just win, lose. They're awful, so they just keep fighting the same opponents. So it's not sustainable at all. That's why they should cut down some fat, build some muscle. I don't get why they don't. And when you're just watching the average heavyweight fight between these type of fighters, and you see at the start of a round, one of these guys gets a takedown, you're just like, fuck, it's going to be like this for the rest of the round. And this guy's not going to get up. The guy on top's not going to do anything either. He's just going to lay. He's going to try to transition a bit, but he's not going to do any damage. He's not going to do any subs. That's all. It's just going to be laying on top against the cage. And the way they get the takedowns, they don't just do a double leg in the middle of the cage. They always they push them up against the cage. Then they try to drag them down, or either get tripped because they've got no balance. So it's a lot easier to just pull them down with you. They're not going to get up. So the second you see a takedown at the start of the round, they're not getting up. It's going to be like that for the rest. And it just makes you not want to watch the rest of the fight, because it's just going to be like this for the rest. And it's so boring. Man, these Apex cards are something else. But yeah, on to the next one. So then next up, we've got the Tough Warriors. These are the guys who have emerged from the Ultimate Fighter and found themselves stuck in the Apex. I mean, they fought outside of the Apex a couple times. Brad Katona just fought in Louisville, kind of in Mavov card. But yeah, the rest of them, they pretty much just be fighting in the Apex. As of recent anyways. I don't know about you, but I always confuse them with each other for some reason. Just because they all came from the Ultimate Fighter and they all have similar records. Like, Brad Katona. I know this is the one at the top here. Kurt Holloway's on the left and the bottom is Austin Hubbard. But only reason I really remember that is because I was obviously making this slide for the video. But I don't know about you guys, man, but their fights just don't appeal to me. There just seems like no stake. They just keep fighting the same quality of opponents. But I mean, they can have bangers sometimes, I know that. But Brad Katona had a banger with Cody Gibson on the O'Malley card, Sterling O'Malley. And crazy facts, Kurt Holloway and Austin Hubbard also fought on the O'Malley card. And since then, they've both been fighting on the Apex. So yeah, they've been stuck there. They found their place. They're just the type of fighters who win one, lose one, that they keep fighting the same caliber of opponents. And when I look at the whole card of the Apex and I see they're fighting against someone like Mikhail Figlak or Kenan Krachewski or Trey Ogden, I just have no interest at all. It doesn't appeal to me at all, man. I mean, yeah, there's no reason to hate these guys. I mean, I respect every single fighter, but it's just these guys, they just don't appeal to me at all. And they always seem to find themselves on maybe like the main card, or just maybe the prelim headliner or something like that. But I don't mind these guys. It's not the worst fight you can have. They can occasionally have some bangers, but yeah, let's see what's next. Next up, we've got the Sacrificial Lambs. Prime examples, Reese McKee, Weston Wilson, and at the bottom, AJ Cunningham. So, okay, let's take a look at Weston Wilson's record. So the first point, stepping in on short notice. I think he's done this on 2 occasions against people he should not be in there with at all. Joannison Brito, and Gene Silva. Now, it's just hard to watch. It's always hard to watch. Like, it's one of those. He just gets cracked with a clean shot right on the chin. Then you just see mentally he already gives up. Then he just starts not moving his head. His hands are by his waist. He just keeps getting hit. He doesn't get knocked out cold, but it's just too much damage to the point that the ref just has to sympathetically step in. And weaklings is another point as well. Like, I was watching the Gene Silva fight live, and then I remember, I don't even know what he did. I think he just did some sort of sweep. Then Weston Wilson nearly did a backflip, and he just ended up on bottom right into side control. And it's always hard to watch. I mean, to be fair, he did fight recently, and in a fight that was a short notice for him, and he won by submission, which was proper unexpected. I picked Jekka Saragi by brutal KO because he was coming off a first round knockout. I just thought he was going to do it again. Weston Wilson's he's got no experience on the feet, it seems. And AJ Cunningham is a perfect example as well. He stepped in on short notice to fight Ludovic Klein on the Rosenstrike Gaziev card. And Ludovic Klein was just styling on this guy. It was just another example of he gets hit, then, your nose is bloody and stuff, then you just feel bad for the guy. You don't want him to be in there, then even the commentators are like, come on, you got to stop this already. It's just hard to watch, man. Then he just gets tossed around. He was getting styled on. I remember Ludovic Klein throwing spinning back kicks and all that. Yeah, it's always hard to watch. And Reece McKee, last example. I don't think he's necessarily stepped up on short notice, but he's just a sacrificial lamb. You know what I mean? He fought Kamzat on his debut. That's a tough first fight. That was a scary one to watch as well, just getting pounded, smashed. That's a prime example of Kamzat smash. You fought Alex Morono. Just found this out now, actually. Yeah. Angelusa, Chidi Njokwani, I don't know how to say his name. But yeah, he just takes so much damage in all these fights, then you just feel bad for the guy. They're just two skinny, frail weaklings, a bit hard to watch, man. They should never be in there with opponents. What business does Weston Wilson have to be in there with Joannison Brito and Gene Silva, especially on short notice? I mean, to be fair, it was Gene Silva's debut, but we've seen the monster he's become now. He's on a 3-fight win streak, all by finish. Yeah, the guy's crazy, but yeah, this is another prime example. It's basically either just to build someone up, build up a new up-and-comer prospect, someone who's also coming off a loss, or stepping in on short notice against a great opponent who they have no business to be in there with. And yeah, let's see what's next. Last but not least, we got the Grizzled Vets. The 3 perfect examples I could think of. By the way, there were so many more I could have added here, but I just wanted to stick with 3 once again. But Alex Morono, Tim Means, and Court McGee. Perfect examples right here. Yeah, if you come from a family, right, where, your family watches UFC as well. Let's say your granddad, your uncle. And you ask them who their favourite fighter is, they'll probably say one of these 3. You know what I mean? Good old bro, they bring it every time, and they're the type of people who'll give Alex Morono his praise. He'll give Tim Means his praise. He'll give Court McGee his praise. But then he'll also slander Sean O'Malley and Peyton Talbot by saying, "No, man, this guy's not a real fighter. Look at him. Look at his hair. You know what I mean? Because he's doing a backflip in a cage." And if you're not sticking your chin up in the air with your hands by your waist and absorbing shots to your chin and just eating them, you're not a real fighter to your uncles or your granddads. But these are the fighters they like. They bring a good old brawl every time, but I don't know, personally, it's just not my type of fight. I prefer technical chess matches, you know what I mean? That's my type of fight. And they always seem to fight each other. For example, Alex Morono, who's he fought? He's fought, I think he's fought both these guys. But what's his name? What's the guy's name? Court McGee hasn't fought Tim Means yet, so that's probably going to be the next fight next. That's going to be put next on the Apex co-main. Don't be surprised if it's co-main. And Nico Price as well. Off the top of my head, I know Nico Price has fought Alex Morono twice. One of them being recent as well. I think Nico Price fought Tim Means as well. So it could also be Nico Price versus Court McGee as well. don't be surprised if that's a Apex co-main as well. But yeah. Perfect examples of Apex fights that you see in every card. It just seems like they found every card. It's only me. Yeah, and this is perfect example, man. And yeah, that's the video, man. Of fights you always see on the Apex starter pack. And yeah, let me know what other fights I missed out, other fights that you always tend to see on the Apex, or any fighters in these categories that I should have put, or included, or mentioned, or whatever. But yeah, this is my video. Thank you, goodbye.